Now that you mention it, yes, they did. We're really pleased with it. We're not going to give specifics, but so far so good. Yes, this is going to come in a future software update. We are going to add full color pass-through for both recording and for casting. So we're really looking forward to that. I know it's an important use case for the creators out there. Yeah, we initially had a depth sensor in there, and we ultimately decided that it wasn't adding enough for the cost, the weight that it added, and removing it allowed us to be a little bit more clever in how we use the existing sensors that we had, infrared and visible light. So we ended up going that direction. We're still playing with depth sensing. We still have lots of technology there. There's still a lot of opportunity there. But you really want to make sure that every single component that you include is carrying its weight, so to speak. And so we made a last minute decision relatively late in the game actually to pull that out. But we may, in the future, integrate depth sensing. So it really depends on the scenario. So yeah, this is just the nature of hardware. We see a lot of these press reports where people are kind of alarmed at these things. It is just the nature of building something this complex, is that you're going to make changes all the way down the line. Well, I would say if you really like gaming and you have the money, there's no question that the Quest Pro is in fact the best thing out there. My daughter is really helping me out with this. Well, they say imitation is the highest form of flattery. So I guess I'm flattered. I do think it's good headset. We obviously expected that people would come once we demonstrated that this was a real market with real opportunity. I think it's great for developers to have more opportunities to reach more people. ByteDance is obviously a tremendous competitor. I do think there's a little bit fast and loose in the definitions of things. I think there's things that on paper look better, but then when you actually experience them, they're actually significantly worse. I'm always kind of impressed with the brazenness of it. The UI in particular is just a knockoff, kind of down to the bones. But that's what it is. We know that we're out in front leading, and people are gonna take the easy path and just copy that. So competition we've always known was gonna come. It's good to see it here. It's real. It's credible. I think we got them beat for those who care about quality, but we're gonna see what the market says. Yes, our eye tracking and face tracking APIs are available for developers now. Nothing yet for consumers though. I'm a huge fan of the open periphery style of headset for Quest 3. I've wanted that ever since I first saw what we called Pacific Coast Highway, a demo that a few people pulled together, Narav and a few others pulled together, which was open periphery, and I thought it was really compelling. For us, the Halo architecture for longer wear, for easy donned off over the course of your workday, I think there was a lot of good decisions made there with the use case in mind that we had. But we're ultimately going to see what consumers think. I also really like Quest 2, that form factor that is so portable. You just toss it in your bag, it's small, kind of take it with you. So I think there's really a pretty wide range of reasons to like each different form factor, and I'm very curious to see how consumers feel about them. This is a good idea. I'm gonna look into this. Yeah, it should. We VRChat, Rec Room, we're hoping the whole pantheon of great social applications that people are using on our platform take full advantage of what the API has to offer. Yeah, for me, it's definitely the stereo color mixed reality. People are calling it color pass-through. That's not quite right. It's kind of right today because we're just launching this mixed reality platform for the first time, so there's not a lot of content for it yet, and I respect that. I've played a few things where it is more of a pass-through. It's not really mixed reality, so like Cubism is a good example that I like. I really like it. I find it much more comfortable to be in a headset a long time when I can see more of my environment, so I like the open periphery and I like the color stereo mixed reality, and I can't wait to see more developed there. And it's still early for that entire technology. We're still working on 2 infrared cameras and a color camera that we're kind of color correcting this world. I think for this headset, it'll keep improving a little bit, and then in future generations, you can really just start to see what it's going to become. So can't wait for developers to get their hands on that. That's my go-to feature for sure. That's new. Early AR glasses are almost certainly going to have a companion of some kind. For existing platform holders who have phones, the phone could serve as that. For those who don't, you probably do need one. You just don't have the thermal capacity. It's not computer battery necessarily, though those are tight. The thermal capacity on the face to run everything you need to run. Of course, that's not an easy solution. That means you need to have more batteries, more processors, because some things do need to be done very close to the display on the headset. Certainly the sensing and some of the display work itself. So it's almost certainly going to be a 2-part system for the foreseeable future. Over time, maybe you can manage the size of the second part, but that is probably the direction it's going to have to go. It really depends on the use case. We can certainly imagine use cases for which controllers with their particular form of precision and direct manipulation are the right tool for the job. And we can certainly imagine jobs for which the free hand movement is important. One of the things I think is important for free hand movement is actually in meetings. I think you do pretty well if you're someone like me who gestures a lot with their hands when we talk. So I think it really depends on the use case. Yeah, and if you haven't, you should. It's a pretty fun one. It does have like a pretty good. I played football in high school, and it was a pretty good job of like giving that the sense of what it was like behind the line. If you ever were on a play where I was a tight end, so it was only if I was pulling. But there's a real kind of intensity to the feeling of the pocket and how it collapses. It's a good opportunity for me to make some of the completions that I've seen my boy Jimmy G miss this season. Breaks my heart.